We eat. Okay, let's get this thing. Let's get this candle box. Candle box lit. Is that how we're doing? Glasses on. Get the uniform on for the BLBs. All right. Let me text the threads that we're going live here. Going live. Well, all right. Let's start. Let's light this candle box going. All right. We are recording, right? Making sure. Going and good. Sorry, unprofessional. Starbucks. Clock, stopwatch. We go. The bottom line bombs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WinBet. WinBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WinBet has what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100, get a $100 free bet in sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. We're also brought to you by the SGPN Bowl Challenge. $250 cash and a $250 gift card is up for grabs exclusively on the SGPN app. With that said, let's do it. Start the music for 8 seconds, then we go. All right. Welcome to the Bottom Line Bombs for NFL Week 15. I am CJ Sullivan, your host, comic and picker and tout, but making fun of touts. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching live on YouTube, welcome. So you can do comments and engage. Or if you're listening on the old platforms, that's fine as well. Each week, NFL week here, Thursday and Friday, we give you 5 picks with bits against the spread. That's how we do it. For the Circa contest, the million contest, we use those lines, which come out Thursday morning, Circa lines. They're picks with bits for tobacco use only. They're a lot of jokes, a lot of blabbing, as you'll hear. And then we also do a man in a box segment. That's what we're gonna do. 5 picks against spread and a man in a box segment, which you have it. And last week we went 4-1, which was good. Like we said, we're focusing up. We've had a rocky season, kind of a little below 500 still. But last week began the final quarter. Last 5 weeks. So it's weeks 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. It's a totally different thing payment. So going 4-1, we're going to try to win that because we're not winning the overall season. That's for sure. We're not coming close to that. But going 4-1 helps, even though 200 fucking people went 5-0. This is a tough contest. Anyway, our only loss was Seattle, who got beat by Carolina at home. I'm a little upset about that one because that seemed obvious. It was a late switch to that one too because I wanted to do some soccer bits. But when the bits take over the picks, sometimes you can't argue it. But that was like one of those things, like that line just seemed fishy. Seattle -3.5. I should have known better. There's nothing worse than a person who acts like they know better, though. The condescending, like, you didn't know that was a trap game? You didn't know Vegas was setting a trap? No, I didn't. I didn't know Vegas set traps like that. Their entire business is a trap. The casino is a trap. It's a trap line. Everyone knew Carolina. Everyone knew Sam Darnold was going to win the road. No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, we got that loss. But that being said, we are focused in, and we're gonna have another good weekend. But we're gonna learn from our lesson. We're not gonna do the same thing we did the rest of the season, because we started off winning there as well, a little bit. But then we just stick with the same process. No, we're gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go with the condescending picks. I'm gonna go with the "what the hell is this line all about" line, and just go the opposite way. I think that's the only way to do this. We got to get ahead of the game because nothing makes sense. Like I said, we'll give out 5 new picks here against the spread, and picks with bits will be fun. come on in a man in a box segment. Tough week here at Sports Gambling Podcast Network, I want to say real quick. And one of the games we're going to be a little tribute to Mike Leach. Let me switch over to the wide angle. Jesus, I was locked in the box. That was man in the box early. So we got to go lock in where you can see the logo and you can see the cowbells here. And the Washington State helmet. These are old Mississippi State cowbells. That's for the coach, Mike Leach, who passed away this week at age 61. Sad news, obviously. Friend of the program here, Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He was great. Everyone loved Mike Leach. How could you not? He was hilarious. He was a legit comic. As a comic who does picks, I of course love Mike Leach because he was legit funny. Obviously, everyone's. If you guys actually on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, Sean Green and Ryan Kramer, the head honchos here, along with Colby Dant, my man, my college guy in general, and just hilarious comic. They did a Mike Leach tribute show. You should look it up on SGPN. It's very well done. Must not have been easy for them. They plot a lot of little clips, and it was great. I can't get enough of the Mike Leach clips. Keep them coming. He had a dry sense of humor. To be like people saying that. Like what people say. Anytime they have to put an adjective before your sense of humor, it's usually very passive aggressive. He had a dry sense of humor. He has a dark sense of humor. Like when people say that, twisted sense of humor. A loud sense of humor. He's got an obnoxious sense of humor. Dry sense of humor just means like when Leach did have a very dry demeanor. He's just very monotone and then, subtle comedy, whatever you want to call it. It's very rare a compliment when they put an adjective before your sense of humor. Never just says he's a good sense of humor usually means he laughs at my jokes. Oh, he's got a good sense of humor. He enjoys what I say. Twisted sense of humor means you're not funny at all. That just means, I just like you just like offensive things. It doesn't mean a sense of humor. It just means you like bad, dark things. Not always. You can still have a twisted sense from the twisted mind of Danny DeVito. Remember they said that for some fucking movie he was producing? But really, does he have a twisted mind? I didn't realize that. But anyway, Mike Leach was legit funny, and he had a legit dry sense of humor. He's what Bob Knight wanted to be. That's for sure. He was a more affable Bob Knight. But sometimes he can see. Leach could say something like, your fat little girlfriends, and it's fine. People are laughing. When Bobby Knight says it, it's hate speech because Bobby Knight's a fucking asshole. Twin Six, Chase Bentley, welcome to the conversation. So anyway, we're going to swing the sword, as Mike Leach would say, and get into it. Let's see what we got into. That was that was another thing. What was the name of his book? Swing the Sword? Swing Your Sword? He liked pirates and animals. We're going to get into that. I'm going to attribute one of the game picks of Mike Leach today. And swing the sword, whatever. He just look up his clips. He tells you how he did this on 60 minutes. 60 minutes of the thing on him just because of his fucking sound bites. That's how great he was. Anyway, let me get into these ad reads and then we'll get into the show here. I got to stop saying ad reads. I just got to just read them. That's what they want you to do. They want you to read like it's part of your normal life. That's just my dark, twisted sense of humor that I do with these ad reads. Anyway, here we go. There's so much to choose from for WynnBET. WynnBET is what sponsors. It gets everything you need to win. Sign up today. You get $100, and you bet $100, you win $100. All you have to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET so they know we sent you. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. I just read must read. I'm really Ron fucking Burgundy in here. Must read. This is a must read part of that ad. Offer is subject to change. This is the legal department. Terms and conditions at WynnBET.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where they play through. WynnBET is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, and you certainly do, listening to my show, listening to the Sports Gambling Podcast, subscribing to the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, you have a gambling problem. But, like I say, not all problems need solved. Maybe someone else has it. They have the problem. For them, you call 1-800-522-4700. Report them and say, listen, there's an old Drew Carey joke. He said, yeah, I got a gambling problem because you see those signs in the casinos everywhere because they have to. You have a gambling problem. There's jokes. Yeah, I got a gambling problem. I got a 12 here, and the dealer's got a 4. What do I do? Oh, Drew Carey bit before he became a stripper lover game show host. Shout out to Drew Carey. Oh, yeah, one more. We're back with Underdog Fantasy, too. If you haven't signed up already, you can still get a 100% deposit match up to $100 when you use the promo code SGPN. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com, put a $100 deposit match. It's a great for a weekly battle royale format, as well as getting an early start with the playoff best ball. That's a fun game, the playoff best ball. So the promo code is SGPN at UnderdogFantasy.com. And finally, one more. And then this is it for the ad reads. We're brought to you by the SGPN merch store. In honor of reaching our 100th episode here on the NFL Gambling Podcast, which we have, we're giving a lucky winner a $100 gift card to our merch store. That's great. Go to them. I've bought some stuff in the merch store. And actually, a news, Bottom Line Bombs merch is coming to the merch store at SGPN. Is that exciting? And some Man in the Box merch. How fun is that? You can wear a shirt with my face on it. This right here. Imagine this on a shirt. Telling everyone, a Man in the Box. It's going to sell like hotcakes. All right, back to this. Back to the wide angle. Hotcakes. Are hotcakes even fucking sell? Why is that still a selling? Get these hotcakes out here. We can't get enough of these hotcakes. People are buying them left and right because it's the depression. Anyway. So yeah, you win $100 gifts. That's pretty good. Get some Christmas gifts. Give them to the family so they can validate why they have concerns for you and why you're a disappointment to the family. You give your family Christmas gifts of gambling content. I say go for it. All you have to do is leave a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. The deadline to submit is December 20th. The winner will be announced next week. So there you go. Go to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review. I don't like us telling you have to do a 5-star review. But at the same time, because I'm like, it's kind of forced. You want to leave a 1-star review? But I'm like, who leaves a 1-star review? And then lo and behold, I actually got a 1-star review yesterday. Someone listened to the show and decided to give me a 1-star review, which is fine. Hey, you're listening. You're a troll. I don't care. You're a troll. If you type in, whatever. Let me read it real quick. Jack Bears, J-E-C Bears, or J-E-C Bears on Apple Podcasts. 1 star, waste of time is the subject of his review. Talking about me. Sullivan just blabs. Just blabs. That should be my name. Just blabs. That would be a good name. That's a good segment, actually. I might add that as a segment about my bombs. Just blabbing here. Hey, I'm just blabbing here, you know? He thinks he's funny. Well, I don't agree with that part. I don't think I'm funny. I think you're funny, J.C. Bears, for for writing a review called Waste of Time. I think you're pretty funny. An hour-plus pod with maybe 10 minutes of analysis. I doubt I put 10 minutes of analysis in. Dozens of NFL podcasts better than this on Apple. No, there's not, first of all. Just listen to him talk about an elevator experience for 5 minutes. That's a great review. I can't disagree with any of that. I do just babble. I don't think I'm funny. Hour plus with maybe 10 minutes of analysis. I don't agree that dozens are better. And just listen to him talk about an elevator experience. Yes. That's the content people are looking for out here. Doxum Siege, says Ken Barnard. Yeah, I want to give out the information. It's actually me. I'm the one trying to promote it. I bet there's a lot of candidates in my life that would leave me bad reviews. Hey, trolls are all part of it. I love the haters as much as I love the lovers. Haters are real. They listen. They're fans that just want attention. These fucking haters. I'm like stern up here. The trolls. They listen to me for even longer because they want to hear what I'm going to say next. Hey, like I said, I'm a cross between Jim Rome and Alex Jones. Losing my mind into a microphone. I'm not like Alex Jones. I don't believe in his crazy conspiracy theories, but I do owe a lot of money to people that I'm never going to pay. I'm just blabbing here. I'm just blabbing. All right. Let me take an unprofessional swig of Starbucks coffee in honor of Ken Barnard, who likes to make fun of me for that. Welcome into the show. Mm-mm. And that's enough of that, reviewer. But anyway, go there and get the $100 merch store. 5-star review, December 20th, and we'll announce the winner. And Man in the Box, Bottom Line Bomb merch coming. Okay, let's start it up. Weird. Boy, he's... now that guy's in my head because I'm looking at the clock. I've just done 15 minutes of just blabbing, and I haven't given out a pick yet. Anyway, like I said, we're going to start with... we're going to go this week with a lot of crazy lines that don't make any sense. Because that's how we're going to stay ahead of the curve. We're going 4-1 last week. Instead of going back, regressing to the median, we're going to just make the worst picks we can possibly do. And I think that's how we're going to win this. Miami Buffalo. There's 3 games on Saturday. We're going to do 2 of them. Miami Buffalo is the night game. The line is 7. And this is a horrible, horrible spot for Miami. This is their 3rd road game in a row. They just played at San Francisco, at Los Angeles on Sunday night. Then they had to fly back to Miami, landed at 4 a.m. Not to go up to fucking Buffalo and play on a Saturday night. This is a bad spot for them. They look terrible. Tua looks, as advertised by me, your man in the box, looks horrendous. He's like tomatoes to me, which is disgusts me. He's just his passes just repulse me. And now they're going up to cold weather. And that's why I'm back in Miami. Because it makes no sense. This line should be 4. Why is it only 7? I guess because Miami was good. Buffalo, and it's a revenge game too. Because Miami beat Buffalo in Miami earlier in the season. But even though they're outplayed by a lot. But Buffalo's slowing down too. Here's the thing. So everyone loved Miami a little while ago. Now everyone's starting to frown upon them. And now they're putting up now they're, when things go bad for someone, everyone's like piling on with stories. Like, well, now it's fair game. Now I can rip on them. Speaking of Ken Barnard, when Big Ben had his whole problems with sexual assault and rape or whatever he did. That's when all the stories started. I remember all the stories started flooding out, like waitresses, like he didn't tip me, and I was like, all right, okay, he was okay. Like now they think it's fair game to call him an asshole. So now all these Miami stories are coming out. But they loved Miami, and now they're like, yeah. In the LA game, they played the Chargers. They had heat lamps. Can you believe that? They had heat lamps on their sideline. It was only 50 degrees in Los Angeles. So that's the narrative they're pushing this week. How Miami is going to Buffalo. And it's going to be like, 25 degrees in Buffalo. If you can't take 50 degrees in LA, first of all, let me tell you something. That was completely justified. There is no colder place in the world than 50 degrees in Los Angeles. I stand by that. It's colder than 25 in Buffalo, no doubt. Because 25 in Buffalo, you know what's coming. You live in Buffalo. It's there. But LA 50, it starts off with 80 degrees in the daytime, and then it just drops 30 degrees. Like, what the fuck happened here? Plus, we're all pussies out here. That cold blood left me immediately. I used to live in Chicago forever and from East Philadelphia before that. And, I could sleep outside for a week. Now, forget about it. I'm scarves, heat lamps, bring it all over. Why am I suffering through 62 degrees? I got a jacket on right now. So I don't blame Miami for having heat lamps. I get it. You want to enjoy your experience out there. You're paying $200 for this meal. Give me a heat lamp. So now you're going to Buffalo. So now they're like, oh, well, so people are just, so the narrative is so easy that Miami's just going to suffer in the cold weather because Miami's, not used to the cold. First of all, players, no players like the cold. Buffalo players don't like the cold. No one's from people think these players are from the towns they play for, like it was the fucking 50s or something, where you just hired your plumber and they would get a team together and they would live all year round in there. No, the second the season's over, the entire Bills team gets the fuck out of Buffalo. All right. You think Stephon Diggs loves the Buffalo Winners? Everyone's from the South. They're football players. They're all from Florida, Texas, or California. The entire league, except for like fullbacks and guards. They like the snow, a couple white linemen. Everyone else, though, hates this cold. Yeah, but Buffalo's used to it. That's what they used to tell me. That's what I used to love. When I lived in Chicago, that's what people would say to me when I would complain about the winter, like to my sister who lives out here. Like, yeah, you're used to it, though, right? You're got to be used to that winter. You're used to the cold. The Bills are used to it. Yeah, they're familiar with it, if that's what you mean. They know what it feels like. That doesn't mean they like it. They can still hate it. Yeah, 50 Cent has been shot 9 times. He's used to the feeling. He gets it. He doesn't enjoy it, but he's used to it. Maybe. Maybe he enjoys it, It sells records or vitamin water, whatever the fuck he's selling to be a billionaire. Well, the point is, but I love that just because you're used to the winter. Yeah, I'm used to the winter. I'm used to hating the winter. So, oh boy. So I don't even think the Bills, because that's the thing. People just assume the Bills play better in the cold because they live in it. Meanwhile, they hate running the ball, which is what you tie together with snow and cold. Like the Bills are not equipped. If I was the Bills, I wouldn't even want home field advantage. How's that an advantage? It's playing in Buffalo during January. Fuck this. Miami, we want you to get home field advantage because we want to go down there. We will smoke you down there because they're a better team on a natural playing field. But everyone's going to be freezing. That happened last night. That game versus the Jets last week was unwatchable. They're both fucking hate. The Bills hated the cold. Nah, but you love it, though. Come on. You love it. Look at you. You're Buffalo. You got wings. You're miserable. You jump through tables. No, our idiot fans jump through tables. They don't know the difference. Like I said, only idiots enjoy that cold weather. Perfect analogy, said Chase Bentley. Thank you. That's a good reference, too, right? 50 Cent. That's current, being shot 9 times when I wrote that joke. But the point is, 7 points. I wish I were getting 7.5. And the line's only 7 on the circuit contest. Oh, well. We're going to take it, though. We're going to take Miami +7 in the cold because it makes no goddamn, in the worst situation possible for them. Because, you know what? I'm getting used to the feeling. Miami +7, detonate it. All right, let's move on to another Saturday game. We'll wrap up 2 Saturday games. This is going to be my Mike Leach special. Minnesota versus Indianapolis. This is your first game on Saturday morning. Let me get the old cowbell ready. The old Mississippi State cowbell. Look at that. That sounded, what a horrible sound that is if you're listening. Like I said, rest in peace. Rest in paradise. I heard LeBron say that about Grant Wall. He always has cool RIP things. Rest in power. Rest in paradise. Grant Wall, that was a shady fucking death, huh? Jesus. That writer who died in the World Cup over there in Qatar. He wrote bad about the government, killing people, killing workers. They didn't like that. Next thing you know, he died. Okay. They said he had top-notch medical teams. Meanwhile, they put him in an Uber to the hospital. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's move on. Miami, we got Miami +7. No, Minnesota -3.5 versus Indianapolis. 3.5. Like I said about Mike Leach, his press conferences kind of remind me of a Man in the Box. It's just him talking on a thread of stream of consciousness, and he's doing it to entertain himself. And if you guys are entertained, he doesn't know. He doesn't care. He loved animal mascot predictions. That's when the press. I like when the press would try to set him up. They would ask him, like, "Hey, who would win in this animal mascot?" And Leach would go off about animals. I think he grew up near a zoo. Someone said. I don't know if he did or not. But he would love the battle of the animals. He'd go through the conferences. There's actually a hilarious clip of Sean and Ryan here from the SGP. They did the first thing they asked him to when he went to Mississippi State to go through the SEC of mascots and why the Bulldogs, and he broke down why the Bulldogs would beat every mascot. It's pretty funny because Mike Leach is funny. Well, it's funny, still is. So in honor of Mike Leach, the legend, rest in paradise, I want to break down this Colts-Vikings game via mascot. As much as he was an animal lover, the Colts, which is a horse, versus a Viking, which is a problematic character in history, the Vikings. Known for their signature move is raping and pillaging. That's yikes. How is that? How are they not canceled? How have we not canceled Vikings? Yeah, because the white mascots we leave be. Fighting Irish, whatever. They don't care. Who gives a shit? Whatever. They don't care. They're drunk and they fight people and they're cops. Whatever. Irish. Stop complaining. We're not complaining because we don't know. We were drunk. Vikings the same way. You know? Crusaders, Jesus. I mean, Christians just wiped out people, whatever. So Vikings rape and pillage versus a horse. Normally, Leach would say the horse would be the advantage, but I think it's a little different because first of all, where's it going to be? Where's the battle going to be at? Is it going to be on land? That's when the Vikings would come to your land and they come out. The horse. But if the horse has to go on the boat, if it's a road game, which this is. It's in Minnesota. The horse is at a very, very distinct disadvantage. And now, so the Vikings like to rape and pillage. Are they going to try to rape a horse? Which brings up the question, can you rape a horse? I don't think you can. My partner on the other podcast, Sean Flannery, says you can't rape a horse because if you're having sex with a horse, that horse is letting you. All right. Trust me, that horse doesn't want you to penetrate it. It'll let you know. It'll kick you back through the barn. You can't rape a horse. I've told my kids that. Jesus Christ, where am I going on this thing? That started with this is exactly how Mike Leach would do a press conference. Now, during the Jerry Sandusky, I'll save this rant by going even further off the cliff. During Jerry Sandusky's thing, the Penn State, the pedophile linebacker coach or whatever, defensive coordinator, there was that time during the trial where his lawyer was on TV all the time, and he would let Sandusky talk. Like he did an interview with Bob Costas and shit, like on a Today Show, which no lawyer allows their client to talk while the trial is going on because all you could do is hang yourself more. But his lawyer was kind of great because he's like, yeah, you know what, Jerry? We're guilty, buddy. You are getting fucking lit up for this. So go ahead and talk. That's why he was like, go ahead and talk. Who cares? Say whatever you want because it doesn't matter. We are not getting out of this. So that was kind of a fun little month of TV. And obviously horrible case. I don't have to preference that. But the one defense they did, I remember when they were like, okay, because the big scene was like the other coach caught him in the shower with a boy in the shower in the locker room. And his lawyer goes, Jerry goes, it was just horseplay. That's what Jerry said. It was just horseplay. He wasn't going around. I don't know what he saw. He just saw horseplay. The fuck are you talking about? No, that wasn't. It was man play, Jerry. It was man on a boy play. That wasn't. We would rather have you. That's the thing. Collectively, we would rather have you fucked a horse. We would have enjoyed horseplay. That would have been a less of a crime, fucking a horse, than doing the man play on a boy. Because, like I said, you can't rape a horse. The horse allows it. You can't the boy. Anyway, this is my tribute to Mike Leach. I like Chase's comment, perfect analogy, just sitting up there because that's what it is. Horseplay. Hilarious. Dear Lord, Jerry. Anyway, So that protects the Vikings and the Colts. You can't rape a horse. The Vikings rape and pillage. That's a lot of the R word. I just realized that, and I know it. Probably should have done a trigger. Trigger! The man in the box is talking raping of horses. Hear ye, I decree. He's just blabbing. Anyway, let's just get out of this. I don't know how I don't know what I'm doing. Point is, Jeff Saturday and the Colts are still terrible. The Vikings, we faded them last week, and we were correct. Now they're getting zero credit for them to be only laying 3.5 as a horrendous Colts team at home on a Saturday morning. It's kind of a value there. So we're gonna go with Vikings for the Mike Leach special. Vikings over horses. Bomb it. Jesus. I don't know how did I get there? I felt like Louis C.K. doing his fucking pedophile monologue on Saturday Night Live. I was like, oof, we got over that. We got through it. I don't know if we did get through it. I don't know if you guys got through it. New commenter here. We got B. Petrovka. What's B. Petrovka say? He wonders, that's pretty funny. He wonders if town criers were beaten often back in the day. Yeah, here's the thing with town criers. Not only were they loud and they wake you up with that bell coming through a horse, they would always bring bad news. Always, that's where Don't Shoot the Messenger comes from, B. Petrovka. Of course I got beaten up. Town criers were shot in the face. Hey, I'm just a messenger. Yeah, you're the messenger, but you're waking me out of bed, and there's no going back to sleep in 1765. You can't just, there's no snooze button back here in the 18th century. Anyway, so yes, Petrovka, to answer your question, really dig into the hear ye part. Anyway, next game. Jets Detroit. Speaking of which, I don't know why that's speaking of which, but this line is a pick 'em. All you gotta do is pick the winner. Jets versus Detroit. Now, this is one we're gonna go against the grain as well. Not against the grain. Detroit, just an extremely hot team. Everyone loves Detroit right now. And we did last week. And the Jets, they were hot for a little bit, but then they got a little banged up, and they had a tough game versus the Bills last week. But they got, I don't know. So this is a pick'em game. We're gonna go with the Jets here because it makes no sense. It makes sense, but here's my going with it. The Jets. They have two more disillusional coaches here. Robert Saleh for the Jets. After they lost to the Bills last week, he goes, "Well, I'll tell you what. We're gonna see those Bills again, meaning we're gonna play them in the playoffs." And I like anytime a coach makes a statement like that. And like the press doesn't know whether to laugh out loud. Wait, is he joking or is he being serious? What do you, Coach? What you mean? You're going to see him on TV, right? That's where you're going to see the Bills again because they're going to be the 1 seed, and you're probably not even going to make the playoffs. No, we're going to see them on a field. Really? Okay. All right. Tell your players that. They got what was it, Mike White, not quarterback. This is a match. This was, and Detroit comes in extremely hot, and now everyone loves Detroit now. And Jared Goff. This is a comeback player of the year battle. Comeback player of the year is one of my favorite awards because it's usually a guy coming back from either a horrible injury or just being a terrible player. And this year, the two front runners. It was Geno Smith for a while, the quarterback for Seattle. He's still got pretty much locked up. But now Jared Goff is making a run for it because Jared Goff's having a great year for Detroit. And he's battling Geno Smith for comeback player of the year. And so now Geno Smith and Goff are in battle, not for how good they're doing this year per se, because they're both having good years. But they have to argue how bad they used to be in the previous seasons, which is a fun debate to have on why you deserve an award. Goff's like, I was the number 1 overall pick from Cal Berkeley. Aaron Rodgers said I was his godson. I was terrible. You know how they traded me, the Rams traded me, and then they immediately won the Super Bowl. Immediately. All they did was replace me with an old fucking Stafford. That's how bad I am. Geno Smith's like, hold my... I don't like saying that, hold my beer. People think hold my beers is a punchline on Twitter. Anyway, Geno says, hold my knee brace. I'll show you a fucking comeback. I've disappointed 6 organizations. Everywhere I go, fans hate me. They know if they start me, they've given up. When Seattle said they were starting Geno Smith at the beginning of the season, I was like, what the fuck? So we're not even going to try this year? But then he was good. That's a fun argument. Who was worse in their career? Who's a bigger disappointment? So who gets a trophy for coming back? The rest is just injuries. That's why Brian Robinson was my dark horse. He's the running back for the Redskins who got shot in a drive-by or got robbed. He got carjacked and shot. Almost died. Came back. Hasn't even played a game. He's a rookie. That'd be an amazing comeback. Where do you come back from? Getting shot? Never played yet, but how do you give it to fucking Jared Goff over a guy who got shot? I don't care if he's never played. And now you got Zach Wilson. He's trying to win the comeback play. He's setting himself up nicely for a comeback player of the year, wherever he goes next year, because he's the quarterback. He was drafted number 2 overall. And first, people loved him in the offseason when he slept with Stacy's mom, his mom's friend. Everyone loved him. And now that he's terrible at football, they hate him. And they like his backup, Mike White. And like, oh, he's a family man. They're writing him up. It's like all these, how he loves his wife and kids. He's not the creep banging his mom's friends. I thought you liked that. Yeah, we did when we thought he was cool, but now he can't play quarterback. So this is a future comeback player of the year award, which Mike White is setting him up for. I don't know where I'm going with this. The point is, Jared Goff coming back from being terrible versus Geno Smith. Terrible. So he actually, and people, so what you can't forget is that he's got a lot of terrible in him. He's still got a lot of terrible to go. And and Jared Goff on the road in bad conditions. Jared Goff, unlike my Miami analysis and cold weather, Jared Goff legitimately hates cold weather. He's like, I just don't do this. He only plays in Detroit because they have a dome. He just, anytime there's bad weather, I won't participate. This Lions team scores like 35 points a game. They go up to New England a month ago, 0. Why? Because Goff, I refuse. I refuse to play anything under 40 degrees. So that's what's happening in New York this week. So we're going to go with the Jets as a pick 'em for the comeback player of the year, Mike White. Bomb it. Couple of your comments real quick. Brian Petrovka says there's always been someone named Mike White creeping around the NFL. That's hilarious. There is true. There's always a Mike White. Not always a quarterback. He's a running back. There's a West Virginia quarterback named Mike White as well. White Lotus, says Mark Van. A very helpful comment there. People, Jesus Christ, people talk about this White Lotus show on HBO. I can get into that, to the Twitterverse and all that when they hype up shows. They're not that. These shows aren't that good. They just want to talk about things, and they want these things to be good, and they have nothing fucking else going on in life. Or they love people that are in it. I like when people promote shows that their friends are in. They would never watch. But it's just to promote them. So. White Lotus. Whatever. I haven't watched it yet, so I can't get into it. But one thing I do know about White Lotus, there's no way it's as good as what people are saying it is. There's no way. It's impossible. Wait till you see the ending. I don't want a show too. I got to wait till the ending for the good part. Yes, the first season's bad, but then it picks up in the second season. Not exactly the first half of the second season, but once you get through the 12 episodes, then it rolls into. Okay. Go ahead and spoil that one for me. White Lotus, you can go ahead and spoil that for me. I don't care. No spoil. I don't want to spoil. No, spoil. Please. You're not spoiling anything. What you're doing is saving me time. Jeff Klinger joins the conversation. He says this show took my account from $400 to $407 in just 6 weeks. I like that. Would you put it in a savings account? Dollars, not thousands. I get it. We get. Then he goes ahead and explains his joke. We got it, Jeff. Dollars, not thousands. That should be the name of the show. All right, let's move on. You guys are wasting my time. Speaking of dollars, not thousands, Las Vegas Raiders and Brian Petrofsky. They play New England this week. The line is a pick'em as well. Another pick'em game. I like these pick'em games. They're fun. No spread can hurt you except for a tie. Las Vegas is another dead team. Dead players, dead team. So that's another reason why these are all obvious picks. Like if you're just looking at it like, well, you would take New England because they're in the playoffs, and Las Vegas is dead, right? They just let Baker Mayfield beat them after 2 days of practice. So that's all you hear in the media is like, well, Vegas is faded Raiders. They're dead. They're quitting. The general public and like the media and all these guys, they can never fathom why professional athletes don't quit. Like, well, why are they continuing after losing that game? I mean, they got to speed. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're upset for a day, but then they get rid of it because they're professional athletes. They're things you can't comprehend. They have a short memory. They have no memory because they're fucking psychos. They're absolutely roided up psychos going out there. They're not going to be thinking about the Baker Mayfield game. Well, they are thinking about it, but they're thinking about it in a good way, is my theory. Because this would be the trifecta of embarrassing losses that you know what, you probably should quit. 0-0 tie, Petrofsky says. That'd be fun. Because the Raiders have had some embarrassing, some really bad losses. They're a playoff team. They lost. It started off when they lost to Jeff Saturday, his coaching debut, when he went right from ESPN like a Whoopi Goldberg movie, one weekend and outcoached Josh McDaniels. That was embarrassing. The Colts haven't come close to being a football team since beating the Raiders. Then they lost to Baker Mayfield on a Thursday night game when Baker Mayfield had 2 days of practice. What I loved about that game, though, the Raiders did choke that game away. They were hilarious. But what Baker Mayfield did there by having 2 days of practice and winning an NFL game was just shows that all this year-round involuntary workout playoffs, all that means is bullshit. None of it means anything. Just go out there and fucking throw the ball. Why is everything so complicated? But if you let Baker Mayfield beat you like that, that's bad. So now the ultimate, even more embarrassing, if they lose this week to New England with Matt Patricia calling plays for the Patriots, that's the trifecta. Everyone's talking about the Bill Belichick versus Josh McDaniels, like the mentor and the mentee, whatever the hell that is. I don't care about all that shit. Bill Belichick continuing to have Mike Patricia call their plays is mind-boggling. I don't know what he holds over, what fucking pictures he has of him. I mean, didn't they already catch Belichick sleeping with a secretary or some kind of affair or whatever? What does Patricia hold over and why he's playing? He's never called play. Whatever. And you could tell Mike Patricia's never called plays because all he does is do that one single screen swing pass. That's all he does. That works. Whatever. Let's do that. Like the old Tecmo Bowl, the Mark Bavaro play. You just throw it to Mark Bavaro every time on that cut when he'd go up and out, and you couldn't stop it. It was like a glitch in the computer. You could put all 10 of your defenders, because the one computer guy is going to fly off, on Mark. You could pick the play. You only had 4 plays to pick from a Tecmo Bowl. So you pick pass 2, which is B down. Amazing. You couldn't get 8 plays in the original Tecmo Bowl. Super Tecmo, when they gave you 8 plays, that was mind-boggling. That was like, wow, we got a game here. So you pick the Mark Bavaro. So Tecmo Bowl, you had 4 plays, if you don't remember the original one. You pick a play on defense, they pick a play on offense. And if you pick the same play, which you had a 25% chance of doing, it was an all-out jailbreak. No one blocked anyone. Everyone just full blitz. Ball would pop in the air. It was devastation. But there's a couple plays. Cap Bozo for the Bears as well. Had a slant where even if you picked the play and all the defenders rushed the guy, you couldn't stop it because you caught it while he hit that little leg. Anyway, Mark Bavaro, man amongst boys. Always good to give a Mark Bavaro shout out. I was talking with Ryan Kramer, Giants fan. He was Mark Bavaro, of course, Giant legend. Actually, he played for the Eagles too, toward the end of his career. And that's what I thought Jeremy Shockey was going to be in the next Bavaro, but he was fun. There was a picture of him fucking Mark Gastineau's daughter in some club in New York. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Vegas Patriots. McDaniels. See, McDaniels will just Belichick coming to Vegas is like McDaniels hosting his dad coming in. Belichick in Vegas is like those conventions. He'll probably have a name tag around his neck the entire time. Go to convention centers and some swingers fucking festival. The swingers have festivals. They have conventions. They have code languages. Learn that the hard way. Pineapple's a big thing for swingers. I had these sneakers that had pineapples on them, and I found out the hard way that meant swingers. It means you're open for business. Not the hard way, the semi-hard way. Woo! Come on. I think I'm funny. What's that reviewer talking about? I don't think I'm funny. I know this shit, motherfucker. Imagine if I actually thought that. Yeah, I know I'm funny. There are comics like that. There's a story about Dane Cook when he was doing Crank Yankers. Someone was trying to have a conversation with him. Like, what would you do if you weren't comics? I don't know. Like, would be a way. I'd be the funniest fucking lawyer there is, or whatever. I'm like, okay, just trying to have a conversation. Anyway, let's detonate that new bomb. Las Vegas over the Patriots is a pick 'em. Bomb it. The Raiders. Television flat screen. Petrovka, the big Raider fan. Bonus bomb lock for tonight. I'll get into that. I'll give you one of that later. Screen on top of the monitor. What are you talking about? Oh, the Batman. Yeah, sure. And picks. Tonight's game, if for the live YouTubers, that's a tough one. They don't know how Brock Purdy's going to play. I don't mind Josh Johnson though. -3. Yeah, it's a trap line too. You would think San Fran would kill him, but I don't know. I'd lean Seattle. To be honest with you, actually, I'd lean some props. If I was going to go anything, I'd go Tyler Lockett or Metcalf. Get those guys over. So they're going to hit. They're going to hit. That's your bonus bomb for that. Anyway, let's move into. Boy, that was 4. We're swinging this. Oh yeah, I was supposed to say swing the sword for that, but I already did my Mike Leach tribute. How much tribute does Mike Leach need? You know, he'd be sick of it. That was a joke. Heary. Swing the sword for the Raiders. Real quick, the 4 bombs we've given out so far is Miami +7 in the cold weather. Minnesota -3.5. Jets pick 'em. Raiders pick 'em. And now the final bomb. Cincinnati versus Tampa Bay. The line is 3.5. This is the ultimate. What in the world is this point spread? So that's why we're going to go with it. Cincinnati looks great. One of the best teams in football. Tampa Bay looks absolutely fucking terrible. They just lost by 28 to Brock Purdy, for crying out loud. Speaking of quarterbacks tonight. So this is an easy. Everyone's like, well, that's easy. Cincinnati, right? Well, then that's where you got to look at it. This line looks ridiculous. So we're going to go Tampa Bay +3.5. Why? Basically just on that. You lose by 28 to Brock Purdy, and you're only getting 3.5 versus the Bengals, AFC representative, who looks like the Super Bowl team right now. It just doesn't make sense. So we're gonna go Tampa Bay +3.5 here. We got anytime I like to. It's obviously a buy low situation on Tampa Bay, who looks terrible. They look broken. They have no. I mean, everything about them looks broken. Now these stories are coming out. These stories are, like I said, it's just like that Roethlisberger. Like people like to pile on, and they throw out stories. You can't talk shit about Brady until there's a crack. And now that they're losing, they want him to retire. Like, all right, this has got to be the end. All right, how about these stories? Story came out this week that he's changing not just plays, he's changing the entire scheme the night before in the hotels with his receivers. And the coaches don't find out about it until the game starts. What? There's no way that's true. What was this, like any given Sunday? He's changing the plays, coach. I didn't know that. How'd you not know that? You're the fucking coach. You didn't see how the play was different than the one you called? What kind of coach are you? If anything, that's just how what a terrible coach you are. Not that Willie Beeman or whatever and Brady are switching plays. You think Tom Brady's having Russell Gage and Mike Evans in his hotel room, Chris Godwin. All right, here's what we're really going to do tomorrow, guys. What a made up story. Who would even leak that? How is that story made? Who's leaking it? It sounds like an Antonio Brown story, if you ask me. So anyway, that's completely made up. It's impossible. The way to make these complicated offense, although it does show how bad Brian Leftwich and Todd Bowles is. This is bad. The conference room at a hotel is first of all, Tom Brady's not even staying at these hotels. Tom Brady's got a lot more to deal with. He's got dueling War of the Roses mansions, War of the Roses going on with Giselle. A media story. Speaking of sports media. Yeah, we're live. Kyle Bowl wants to know if we're live. All these people, I love all your commenters coming in here, but make your comments fucking helpful, will you? Speaking of Kyle Bolin, though, as we thank you for the logo. It's him right there. See, there's the Bottom Line Bombs, which will be on the merch store pretty soon. Big story in the sports media was Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Skip Bayless crossed the line, apparently, with Shannon Sharp. It started off with him. Skip Bayless doing his routine thing. Him and Shannon Sharp do a debate show. Skip Bayless created all this, by the way. Or Stephen A. Smith and all this shit. And then I don't know what he was I don't know. I watched part of the clip. He was attacking Shannon Sharp, saying, "Well, you're not Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the best. He's better than you," which is really a weird thing to say. But he's like, "He's better than you," and Shannon Sharp's getting angry. And Shannon Sharp took off his glasses, which meant business. Apparently, when a big man takes off his glasses, that means business. And Skip got a little too comfortable, a little too cocky. He's respected in that culture, if you will. And he got a little too cocky with him. And he crossed the line and goes, "Put your glasses back on," which is the equivalent of saying boy, I guess. So he didn't like that. Twitter didn't like that. Black Twitter didn't like that. All of that. No one liked that. Which I'm not going to defend Skip Bayless because he made his bed. He's been doing his career. He made his bed. It's terrible. I do find it weird how people criticize Skip Bayless and not Stephen A. Smith now. Now Stephen A. Smith has the thing where they accept him for like, oh, he's doing performance art. What the fuck you think Skip Bayless is doing? Skip Bayless created Stephen A. Smith. He's the one who taught him this. They're fucking brothers. They don't mean anything they say. That's the whole point. The whole shock things. So when he's saying this shit to Shannon Sharp, like, Tom Brady's better than you. He doesn't care about any of this. He's just saying, they just say shit. So then he got a little cocky. He got cocky with the whole culture, thinking he can say anything. And you realize you can't. There's certain things you can't. There's certain things that, and I get it. He doesn't know. Oh, that's stepping over the line. Put your glasses back on. I didn't know. Don't you know that everything I say is bullshit? It's like when it's like when people make fun of like superhero movies that flop, I never do. Like, let's say the Green Lantern or some shit. I don't know, whatever. And like, that movie bombed. Well, how are they supposed to know that you guys were not going to like that bullshit movie, but you're going to like this bullshit movie? Oh, I didn't know you're not going to like Eternals, but you like, Avengers. It's all bullshit. Who's drawing the line here? We don't know. We're throwing shit again. You like the other shit? You don't like this shit? Okay, fine. Well, they make fun of us for it. They act like there's a science to this. It's all terrible. Saw Avatar last night. I guess that's what I was getting into. Oh man, Avatar. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it because There's nothing to get into. It's just a game. It's a video game. It's a fun ride. I went to the bathroom. Like, I'm not going to miss anything. I didn't care. There's nothing like a movie going to the bathroom where like you not a care in the world. You're going to miss a plot line. Like, I'm going to come back. This shit's going to be going on. It'll still be going on. The Way of Water. No beginning, no end. Yeah, just like the movie. There was no end. But where was I? Oh, yeah. Superhero movies that flop. Skip Bayless. Telling Shannon tried to put his glasses back on. Hey, you fucked up there. I could tell. I've been there before, though. You get cocky with it, and you get checked real quick. You know, you're not that cool with them, with the culture. Skip. So watch your mouth. No, they'll watch him again. I mean, whatever. I don't understand. He makes clips so you'll share it online, so you'll hate him. That's his whole thing. And he did push it too far. Anyway, we're going with a, as they would say here, Sean Green, Ryan, a hold your nose special. Look away. Tampa Bay plus 3.5. Bomb it. Ooh, that's a great bomb effect. So to break down all 5 bottom line bombs, we have Miami plus 7, Minnesota minus 3.5, Jets pick them, Raiders pick them, Tampa Bay plus 3.5. And now we will switch over to the box. Welcome to the box. Let me look at some comments real quick. We got, we have Kyle Boland and Mark Vanna talking with each other. That's great. You guys have your own conversation. No need to text each other. Have a conversation in my YouTube comment threads while I'm doing a live show for a worldwide audience. I'm just blabbing here. Who am I kidding? Just blabbing. Sir blabs a lot. Oh, how was the review I got written? A 1-star review of just blabbing. All right. Let's get into the man in the bones. How much time have we done? Let's take a look at that first. Oh, Jesus, 57. Yeah, that guy's right. An hour plus pod, and I barely do 10 minutes of analysis. I just blab. Let's do the man in the box. I don't want to get too into Avatar, although I kind of did get into Avatar, didn't I? It was an enjoyable time. I didn't mind it. You know the best thing about watching the Avatar sequel last night? It didn't make me want to see the first one at all. I could have watched the second one before the first one. It would have made a complete same sense. It doesn't matter. It's all just and he's gonna make 4 more of these. He said James Cameron's gonna bludgeon us with 4 more of those avatars. Well, this was the way of the water. Now we got to do the way of the snow and the mud people and the hail. It's basically the Postman. Just fucking call it the Postman, Jim. Anyway, like I said, enjoyable. 5 out of 5. I can see that putting me to sleep. I can't wait. That's all I want for a movie and TV show. Knock me out. Knock me out. All right. Well, let's get into a segment, I guess. Man in the box. Kyle. No, it's okay. You came in late, Kyle. It's fine. We can, once this YouTube page stays up there forever, you can always go back and watch it. It's great. It's great. It's great. What I want to get into, I guess people are giving me suggestions for Man in the Box. That's how big this show is growing. People are giving me suggestions. Someone suggested the new tipping on iPad thing. They had this in Starbucks. You know, tipping is becoming everywhere. It's becoming an epidemic. It really is becoming a problem. You know, when you pay for something with the iPad, then they flip that iPad around and do you want to tip? Tip for what? I never tip for this. And the reason why this is a problem, I won't get too into that. Like, listen, these people all deserve their money, but why are we funding these people? It's these fucking owners, and they get us fighting with each other. It's just like the flight attendants. They get us fighting with flight attendants. It's the airlines that cramp us in there and treat us like animals, and they get the tensions high. So now, ever since the pandemic, these restaurant owners and all these owners, they don't want to pay their staff, so they put it on us. So they try to guilt us. It's just like the littering. In the 70s, when littering was a problem, it was actually the fucking Coca-Cola and all these things that would make glass bottles and shit and cans, and they would make the cans, which is cheaper, And that was the actual problem. But then they blamed people for littering, and then we're like, yeah, we're all pieces of shit for littering. And that was like a fraction of the problem. It was the cans. Anyway, it doesn't stop with the, all right, the iPad tipping where you don't tip, that's ridiculous. I can zone that out. Also, do you want to round up and fucking, they don't fall for that scam either. The charity. Once you round it up, we'll give it to charity. No, because then you write it off. You should be donating this. Why are we doing everything for you? We've got to pay for everyone. I don't like, you know what you just grown to now? The servers, too. And I want to pay the servers. I want the servers to get money. But then now they start tacking on that kitchen fee or the staff fee. 4%. It was another one. It was like 4%. I love the kitchen. Like, what is this? What's this $5? Oh, it's, it goes to the kitchen. Well, why isn't your owner paying this? Who does the owner pay? Well, we can't help afford. No, he just can't afford his third house if he doesn't pay the staff. So we got to pay everybody? Do we have to pay for the fucking inventory too? You want me to go back and pick up a shift? Jesus Christ! I had a club sandwich. I gotta pay. I gotta pay for Pedro to stack up a cup. Well, I went to at the Penmar, went around golf with Chris. A little cafe. We go, yeah. Anything else? She goes, yeah. I go, yeah, just a check. She goes, all right. She starts going like this. $49.50. And then just stares at me and pulls up her thing. What? And she's staring. Oh, okay. Can you back off? What do you mean? Let me talk to the people I'm with here, how we're going to do this. And okay. Do you need time? Yeah. I need more than time. First of all, I'd like to see a proof of this. She doesn't print anything out. She just goes, $49.50. What? I don't believe you. I think you're lying. I want to look at things. Show me your iPad at least. Show me the number. Don't just say a number. Then they stare at you. Sometimes they'll do that. They'll put the thing down in front of you and you got to sign the tip while they're looking over. Like, what? Get out of here. You make me want to do a worse step. That's ridiculous. The whole thing of the printed out check so I can look at it. I say, okay, that adds up. I bet they had one of those kitchen fees. They were hiding it because they know how fucking ashamed and how illegal all this stuff is. This has got to stop. What I'm trying to say. We're funding the entire restaurant business. The diner business. Shadow box at the beginning of Man in a Box, says Brian Petrovka. Thank you guys for joining. Oh, man. Well, that's over in hour 3. I don't even know what I was talking about there. What was I talking about? No, these checks. This fucking kitchen fee. Get out of here. You can't afford. The owner should be. Listen. Having the whole gratuity conversation is a whole different thing. It's a system. We all know the system. We wish it was different. We wish the owner could pay them too. How'd they get away with that, by the way? How'd they get away with this to begin with? How'd they hire all these waiters and waitresses and they don't have to pay them? We do. Oh, boy. And now we have to pay for the whole fucking business. And this owner just sits there. Oh, nobody wants to work. Okay. Nobody wants to work because you're not paying them. That's why. Pay them and don't want to work. Nobody wants to work for free anymore. I don't get it. Why don't people want to help my dream out in the business that I run for free? It's weird. Shake my head with this society. They don't want to work for me. They don't want to help me get where I want to go and me only. These goddamn fucking kids. Ken Barnard says the waiter brings over the electric bill. That's what is it? I mean, what's next, right? That's basically what it comes down to. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's Man in the Box and the Bottom Line Bombs. Follow me on Instagram at CJ Sullivan Was Taken. Listen to my other podcast, the Blackout Diaries that I do with Sean Flannery, a drinking storytelling show, also very fucking hilarious. We have Mike Bridenstine on this week, who tells a very great story. But Sports Gaming Podcast Network, make sure you subscribe to this, of course. Check out their Mike Leach tribute show. Like I said, it was pretty goddamn great. The boys did a good job. But thank you for all the commenters. Kyle Bolins, Ken Bardards, Brian Petrovka, Chase Bentley, Jeff Kleggers, Mark Vannas. You're all out there. No spam bots this week. Last week we got some porn spam coming in the comments, which I was told is a good sign by the big head, the wigs here. They said that means your show's got some buzz and they think it's, worthy of spamming. The hot singles in my area. Like I said, at my age, I'm more interested in hot Pringles in my area. Am I right? Anyway, that's going to do it for this week's Bottom Line Bombs. And thank you and good night. Good night. I forgot to tell you to enjoy the games. That's always the most important part. Oh, actually, I want to give a final shout out to the fucking user commentator as well. One last user commentator. What was his name again? JEC Bears, who says Sullivan just blabs. He thinks he's funny. Just listen to him talk about an elevator experience for 5 minutes. Just blabs. Sir blabs a lot. Heary, bottom line bombs. Techno.